Okay, so welcome back to Tools of Note for another pencil review slash overview. Now, when I started this video, what I wanted to review were the new Blackwings 10,001s that have recently been released. They are the summer volumes edition, but I realized this is the first Blackwing pencil that I have covered. And I don't think that I can do justice to the volumes in reviewing them further down the line without covering the Blackwing line in general. It is probably one of the most well-known line of pencils in the pencil community. I think many would agree and consider it probably the gold standard when it comes to pencils, and what many other pencils are pretty much compared to when you are kind of grading them and talking about them and comparing them. So, to give you a brief just history of the Blackwing, Eberhard Faber first introduced the Blackwing pencils back in the 1930s. They look rather similar to the current day 602s, which I'll discuss further regarding their design, but they were kind of gray, gold ferrule, pink eraser, and a unique design for the ferrule and the eraser with this kind of rectangular shape. It can be pulled out and the eraser can be replaced. And the pencil with this unique eraser shape was a great brand decision because it started to become well known and known for quality. Many famous users over the years have been reported, such as John Steinbeck, Stephen Sondheim, Leonard Bernstein, and Chuck Jones, famous for creating and voicing the Looney Tunes characters. After several corporate acquisitions in 1998, however, it was discontinued. It started to begin gaining a cult following. Many people were going on eBay and trying to find them. They would go for as much as $40 per pencil for the original Blackwings back from the 30s, 40s, 50s. But Cal Cedar, after kind of joining with Palomino brands, and it's a lot of different company decisions and acquisitions. But back in 2010, Cal Cedar started to re-release these under the Palomino name. And they didn't just want to release the original Blackwing, Eberhard Faber Blackwings, but they wanted to start coming out with subsequent lines of Blackwings. So they started making them with California cedar and Japanese graphite and started making a name for themselves once again in the pencil market, one that is known for high quality. In fact, you'll see my trusty Baron Fig paper here to do the pencil tests, and I don't have the usual list of the various different categories that I rate the pencils in, such as the quality of the pencil, the stability, hardware construction, accessibility, transport, aesthetics, hand feel. Because to be honest, the Blackwings score 2s and full marks across the board. I think the one thing I would maybe mark them down on is the accessibility and transport. They are longer than the average pencil. So finding a pencil pouch or bag or box or carrier that these would fit in is not an easy task. So I think that's probably their markdown for that, but everything else, aesthetics, hand feel, hardware construction, it is top-notch quality. That is all you expect from Blackwing, and that is what they have consistently delivered both in their flagship pencils and in their volumes, which I will talk about soon as well. So let's just get to it to review and show you how to distinguish the various Blackwing flagships. The first one is the Blackwing MMX. Now, you'll notice that these ones, the Pearl and the 602, have the name embossed on the pencil. It's kind of hard with the light. But this does not, and this was before the rebranding, but it still does not. It just says Palomino Blackwing on the pencil. Does not have a name. However, those in the pencil community call it the Blackwing MMX. It's called the MMX because that is the Roman numeral for 2010 when Cal Cedar began re-releasing and reproducing the Palomino Blackwings. So because this one is just called the Blackwing on their website, on pencils.com, it's just going to be named Blackwing, but everybody seems to call it the MMX. So the Blackwing MMX has the softest core of the Blackwing line. It is a very soft and very dark line. It's recommended generally for musicians, woodworkers, sketch artists. As you can see, the smudge test, it is a very light and soft lead. You can get a great light line and shading, and also get a very deep, rich, and dark line at the other end of the spectrum, though it is rather difficult to erase and does smudge easily, as you can see there. But it is a great pencil. This was the first Blackwing I ever purchased. I enjoy it. Probably not for longhand writing or anything, but as I suggest, sketching, woodworking, it's great. If you enjoy sharpening pencils, you'll enjoy sharpening this one because you're going to be sharpening it a lot. Writing with it is a lot of fun. It's very smooth and a great balance of the clay and wax formula in their pencils. Then we get to the Blackwing Pearl. This is softer than a 602, but firmer than an MMX. They call it the balanced core. It's a solid pencil. It's kind of middle of the road. I think they intended it to be kind of the Goldilocks just right for anybody type pencil. Personally, I don't really like the Pearl. I kind of tend to stay away from it. If I'm going to go with a soft pencil, I'd rather just go to the extreme end of the spectrum. If I want a harder pencil, I'll go to the other end. I'm not really looking for much in between. So the Pearl is good. It's fine. It's a fine, solid pencil. If you are into the Pearl, many people consider it their favorite. You can get light and dark, both ends of the spectrum. Smudge test is kind of middle of the road. It's a middle of the road pencil, but a very high quality and does look incredible. It has a wonderful iridescent finish on that pencil. Kind of difficult to capture with the camera, but you can see there. Blackwing 602. This is the one that was modeled after the original Eberhard Faber Blackwing. And up until volume 24, which I will talk about when we reference the volumes, it was the most firm graphite that Blackwing had offered. So this would be the firm core. This is labeled as the firm core on their website. And it's a great pencil. It's really nice. This design harkens back to the original with the gray, the gold ferrule, and that pink eraser. It's a wonderful core. The firm core is great. That's kind of more on my preference. You're not probably gonna love it for maybe sketching, but it erases well. Smudge test is good. I would consider this like a good writing pencil if you're gonna do freehand writing and journaling and stuff like that. So it's a solid pencil. Now you'll see I do have Blackwing 24. That is because back in March of 2016, before then, it was just these three as the flagship pencils. It is still these three as the flagship pencils and cores. However, Blackwing introduced what is known as the Volume 24. It was the John Steinbeck edition. It was introduced with a completely new core. So it did not have the softer core of the MMX, the balanced core of the Pearl, or the firm core. What they called this was extra firm. Not very original naming, but an absolutely fantastic pencil. The look and feel is great. I love the all black. It looks awesome. It is firmer than the 602, but without sacrificing the darkness that you can achieve with said pencil. So you can get that light to dark spectrum. It erases very well, and the smudge test is almost non-existent. If you kind of compare it to up here, as you go down the line, the graphite is hard and stays to the paper and looks really great. I use it for writing and journaling. It's one of my personal favorite pencils. It's definitely on my top 5, probably on my top 3. So once the 24 was introduced, they have not officially made a extra firm flagship pencil. So The only time that you are able to get an extra firm core is if they release a volumes edition with that core. Now, when it comes to volumes editions, they started around 2015, I believe, and they started to release volumes that were unique to the company. They were a limited release. They would only produce a certain amount, and once they were sold out, they were sold out, similar to Field Notes editions. And they would release them with the identical cores, so they would use the cores of the flagship pencils. However, their designs would be different and unique, and they would model it, or I guess honor someone or something, or pay homage to an event or person with that volume. It would kind of represent that person or thing. So they started with, I believe, the volume 1138. I think that was the first one that they came out with. It was a Stratocaster volume or something like that. Or maybe it was the 725, but then it just progressed from there. So when it comes to like the Blackwing MMX, notable editions that would have been produced with that would be the 1138 and then the 73. And as you can see, the volume is very different than the original pencil. So they have just taken a lot of creative liberties with it. They kind of push the boundaries of what they can do. This was the first pencil where they were able to do this topographical raised mapping of Lake Tahoe on the pencil. It came out really well. You can feel the lines and feel the raised lines on there. It's really gorgeous. An incredible pencil. I'm not even that big a fan of the softer core, but I absolutely picked up some of these because they are awesome, and it shows the creativity and the attention to detail that this company has. When you get to the Blackwing Pearl, the balanced core, notable additions would include the 725 and edition number 1. This was the first edition that they did a round pencil in. So you can see that it is completely round, not hexagonal. And looks good, looks fine. Wasn't my favorite, mainly because the core is not totally my favorite, but I picked one up regardless. When you get to the firm core, so the 602, that's the one with the most additions that have been modeled with that core that have been produced. So, and one of the most coveted editions, the 211, the John Muir edition, includes that firm core. Other notable additions would be the 344 edition, with the, it looks basically what a 602 would look like in a dark room for photography. So with the red light on it. And then the Ada Lovelace edition, so the 16.2. This one has her name written in this hexagonal code. It's kind of difficult to get on the pencil, but looks really cool, and just a lot of cool attention to detail with this matte coloring, the matte ferrule. Really cool addition. And then, of course, the 10,001 edition, which I'll be reviewing later. And this was the first pencil that they did a pentagon on. So you can see, if I can get it focus there, that it was a pentagonal pencil instead of hexagonal, and a really cool addition. The color is incredibly gorgeous. It's kind of this like reddish redwood lacquer on it. And then after releasing the volume 24 with the extra firm core, they did start to incorporate those in other volume editions. So far it's been the 24, the 530, which was this one, the Gold Rush edition. And this is the first one that they had the painted stripes on the ferrule, which looks really cool. It's a great metallic gold color. And volume 54, which I was not super fond of. I did not pick up some of those. So that is an overview of the Blackwing pencils and the Blackwing company. They, like I said, are a company known for high quality pencils. If you do not have Blackwings, I would absolutely suggest picking up some of them. They are some of the more expensive pencils on the market. They go for, I believe, about $25 a box. I'm trying to remember if that is just for the volumes or if the standard flagship ones are that. These may be about $21 a box. You can find those at really any pencil retailer, both online, in stores. Many bookstores carry them. I know Powell's in Portland, Oregon carries them. There's many stationery stores here in Boston that carry them because they're just a really good company with really good pencils, and people know that, and so they carry them. If you lean more towards the firm pencils, you like a more firm graphite. This is Japanese graphite, which tends to be on the softer side compared to maybe more European graphite from, say, Denmark or Germany. I would go with the 602. I would absolutely go with that. If you're looking for softer, smoother, buttery graphite, you definitely want to go with the MMX. And if you're looking to really, like, you don't know what you want, you're not totally sure what your preference is, I would go with the Pearl. I don't personally like it, but it is a really solid in-between and probably just a really good beginner pencil if you're just starting to get into the world of kind of more premium pencils and more expensive pencils. The Pearl's not a bad way to go. I know that I think pencils.com also has kind of these sampler packs, so it's like 2 of each pencil, and they'll sell that and upcharge it a little bit, but then at least then you get one or 2 of each, and you're able to choose and see which one you would prefer. So that is the Blackwing overview. I hope you enjoyed this video. I know it's a little bit longer, but I just wanted to introduce you to this wonderful company based out of California who's making these incredible pencils, and to be on the lookout for the volumes editions that they release on a quarterly basis. You can check out their website, blackwing602.com. I'll have the link below in the description as well. If you want more information on their company and their pencils, they have a lot of info there. And I will be doing a further overview of this volume 10,001 soon. I think it's really good. I definitely want to make sure I highlight it. And so, yeah, check out the links below in the description. I'll make sure to put those and link some of the sites that I talked about. And I would absolutely recommend these pencils. If you're just looking to upgrade your pencil game, these are the ones to start with for sure. And I can almost guarantee you're going to be comparing all other pencils from there on out to these ones here. So thanks for tuning in. Really appreciate the watch, and hope this helps. Thanks.